I own a small bookshop in a quiet town. My name is Emma, and I love books more than anything. I spend my days reading and helping customers find the perfect book. I never thought I would become a matchmaker, but that is exactly what happened. One rainy afternoon, I noticed a young woman standing by the romance section. She looked lost, so I approached her. "Can I help you find something?" I asked. She smiled shyly. "I'm looking for a book that might cheer me up," she said. I thought for a moment and then handed her a book called The Perfect Match. "This is a wonderful romance novel," I said. "I think you'll enjoy it." She thanked me and bought the book. A few days later, she came back, smiling brightly. "I love the book," she said. "And I met someone because of it. We started talking about our favorite parts, and now we're going on a date." I was happy for her and didn't think much more about it. But then, a few weeks later, a man came into the shop, looking for a book to read on a plane. "Something light and fun," he said. I gave him a book called Love in the Air. A week later, he returned and told me he had met someone on the plane while discussing the book. I started to notice a pattern. People were finding love through my book recommendations. I decided to keep track. I had a small notebook where I wrote down the names of the books and the couples they brought together. One day, a regular customer named Lucy came into the shop. She was always reading, but I knew she was lonely. "Emma, can you recommend a good book?" she asked. I handed her a book called Hearts Entwined. "Trust me," I said. "This one is special." A month later, Lucy came back with a huge smile on her face. She told me she had met a wonderful man at a coffee shop while reading the book. They were now inseparable. Word spread around town about my matchmaking through books. People started coming to my shop not just for books, but for love advice. I was a bit overwhelmed but also excited. One day, a journalist from the local newspaper came to interview me. She thought the story was fascinating and wanted to write about it. I was nervous but agreed. The article was published, and soon, people from other towns started visiting my bookshop. I received letters and emails from people asking for book recommendations to help them find love. My quiet bookshop turned into a bustling place. I had to hire 2 assistants to help me manage the crowd. I enjoyed helping people find love, but it was also chaotic. One morning, a woman named Sarah came in, looking frustrated. "I tried one of your book recommendations, but it didn't work," she said. "I didn't meet anyone." I felt bad and decided to give her another book, Love's Second Chance. "Try this one," I said. Sometimes, love takes more than one try. A few weeks later, Sarah returned with a smile. She had met someone at a park while reading the book. They had bonded over their love of literature. As more people found love through my book recommendations, I decided to create a website. I called it Bookshop Matchmaker. People could fill out a form with their interests, and I would recommend a book for them. The website became very popular. I spent hours reading emails and matching people with books. It was a lot of work, but it was also rewarding. One day, a famous author visited my shop. His name was David, and he had heard about my matchmaking. He was charming and kind. We talked for hours about books and love. David started visiting my shop regularly. We became good friends, and I found myself looking forward to his visits. One evening, he asked me out for dinner. I was surprised but happy. I had been so busy helping others find love that I hadn't thought about my own love life. We went to a cozy restaurant and talked all night. David and I started dating, and it was wonderful. He understood my love for books and shared my passion. We often laughed about how my book recommendations had brought us together. Running the bookshop matchmaker became easier with David's support. We worked together to help people find love. The chaos turned into a joyful adventure. One day, a couple walked into the shop, holding hands. They thanked me for recommending the book that brought them together. It was a beautiful moment, and I realized how much happiness my little bookshop had created. I continued to recommend books and match people, but I also made time for myself and David. We traveled, explored new bookstores, and enjoyed each other's company. My bookshop had become a place of love and laughter. I never imagined my love for books would lead to matchmaking, but I was grateful for the journey. I learned that love could be found in the most unexpected places, even in the pages of a book. And so, the bookshop matchmaker continued to thrive, spreading love one book at a time.